Ask yourself this: how close are we to witnessing the spark that could ignite the Middle East? Iran, a nation long in the headlines for its nuclear ambitions, its missile technology, and its network of regional proxies, is moving in ways most global observers barely comprehend. For decades, the world has treated Iran's posturing as a background threat, something that can be managed through sanctions, diplomacy, and deterrence. But the truth is far more unsettling. Tehran is not merely preparing to defend itself. It is carefully constructing a lattice of military and political influence designed to alter the balance of power across an entire region. And when the day comes that it decides to act, the consequences will not be contained to Israel or any single nation. This is a chessboard with explosive potential. One miscalculation, one trigger could cascade into a full-blown regional conflagration. Consider the military landscape. Iran has invested decades in developing a missile program that is both long-range and highly accurate. It has perfected drone technology that allows for surveillance, targeted strikes, and rapid deployment in conflict zones. But military capability is only part of the story. Iran's network of allies and proxies across Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Yemen means that a conflict could erupt on multiple fronts simultaneously. This is not a simple regional dispute. It is a coordinated system of deterrence, intimidation, and influence that has grown quietly, out of sight of the casual observer. Many fail to grasp the sheer scale of Iran's ability to strike multiple targets, disrupt critical supply lines, and create simultaneous crises that could overwhelm local defenses. Now let's examine the stakes. The Middle East is home to some of the world's most vital energy corridors. The Strait of Hormuz alone accounts for a significant percentage of global oil exports. A single missile or drone strike in these waters could ripple across global markets, driving oil prices to historic highs, destabilizing economies from Tokyo to London, and creating energy shortages that touch every corner of the globe. When we talk about regional conflict here, we are not talking about localized skirmishes. We are talking about events that could reshape geopolitics and economics worldwide. And yet, despite the looming threat, many global actors continue to underestimate Iran's capacity and its willingness to leverage it. Tehran has not hidden its capabilities. Missile tests are frequent, drone exercises regular, and statements by top military officials often carry a sharp undertone of warning. Analysts caution that Iran's strategy relies on careful ambiguity. The goal is not necessarily immediate war, but leverage. Tehran wants to signal strength, test defenses, and establish a posture of strategic intimidation that forces others to think twice before acting. But history teaches a hard lesson. When multiple state and non-state actors are involved, escalation rarely remains contained. One misstep, one misunderstanding could spiral into widespread conflict before anyone has the chance to intervene. Tonight, we will examine this carefully in depth. We will assess Iran's military capabilities, the regional allies ready to act at its behest, the defensive postures of Gulf states, and the global economic consequences of a miscalculation. This is not speculation. It is analysis based on observable patterns, military developments, and strategic calculations that have been quietly unfolding for years. From Tehran to Beirut, from Riyadh to the Strait of Hormuz, the pieces are moving into place. And the question is no longer whether an explosion could occur, but when, where, and at what cost. Iran's military modernization is among the most systematic and disciplined in the region. For years, international observers focused on nuclear ambitions, often overlooking the sophistication of conventional capabilities. Today, however, it is impossible to ignore the evolution. Long-range missiles capable of hitting Israel, precision-guided rockets that could disrupt infrastructure across multiple nations, and drone swarms designed to overwhelm air defenses, all point to a single conclusion. Iran is preparing for retaliation scenarios that extend far beyond a single target or isolated skirmish. Consider the missile systems themselves. The Shahab Sigil and Khorramshahr series each have unique capabilities, ranging from short tactical strikes to long-range precision targeting. Analysts note that these missiles are integrated into command and control network that can coordinate multiple strikes across different regions simultaneously. This is not the random scatter of a rogue military. This is strategic orchestration. Multiple cities, critical ports, and key military installations can be targeted in rapid succession, creating a level of chaos that is both deliberate and calculable. The message is clear: if Iran is attacked, the return strike will not merely be symbolic, it will be destructive, systemic, and coordinated. Equally concerning is the rapid expansion of Iran's drone capabilities. The use of unmanned aerial vehicles is no longer experimental, it is operational. These drones can conduct reconnaissance, deliver precision strikes, and saturate defensive systems, overwhelming traditional anti-missile measures. Imagine hundreds of drones entering airspace simultaneously, each with the potential to disable radar systems, disrupt communications, or deliver payloads to critical infrastructure. Even the most technologically advanced air defenses face challenges under such scenarios. And in a region as densely populated and militarily complex as the Middle East, any failure to intercept or neutralize these drones could have immediate catastrophic consequences. Beyond weapons, consider Iran's operational doctrine. Iranian military planners emphasize redundancy and dispersion. Missile silos, mobile launchers, underground facilities, and concealed drone deployment points are designed to ensure survivability under attack. In practical terms, this means that preemptive strikes by opposing forces may be only partially effective, leaving Iran with sufficient retaliatory power to execute coordinated counterattacks. Military experts often highlight this as the key difference between deterrence and provocation. Iran has crafted a network capable not just of survival, but a strategic retaliation that can influence regional calculations even before conflict fully erupts. Furthermore, Iran's rhetoric often carries a deliberate ambiguity. Statements from military and political leaders fluctuate between restraint and veiled threats. Analysts interpret this as a calculated effort to maintain leverage. By signaling both capability and restraint, Iran can pressure regional adversaries while avoiding immediate confrontation, yet at the same time preparing the ground for rapid escalation if provoked. The strategic intent is unmistakable. Iran wants the world to understand that the cost of direct action against it could be both swift and devastating. And history repeatedly demonstrates that such brinkmanship can escalate quickly, particularly when multiple actors and alliances intersect across borders. The landscape of potential conflict extends far beyond Iran's borders. One of the most formidable instruments of Tehran's regional strategy is Hezbollah, a Lebanese-based organization often described merely as a militant group, but in reality, it functions as a hybrid entity. Political party, military force, and regional influence are all rolled into one. Hezbollah has long been a critical proxy for Iran, receiving funding, training, and strategic guidance from Tehran. Its arsenal is significant. Estimates suggest tens of thousands of rockets and missiles are aimed directly at Israel, from short-range projectiles capable of striking towns and suburbs to mid-range systems capable of reaching major cities. In a crisis scenario, Hezbollah's capabilities would complement Iran's own missile networks, creating a simultaneous multi-front threat. But Hezbollah is just the tip of the iceberg. Iran's influence stretches through Iraq, Syria, and Yemen. In Iraq, Shiite militias trained and supported by Iran have embedded themselves into both local security forces and political structures, giving Tehran operational reach inside a key neighbor. Syria has served as both a testing ground and a strategic corridor, allowing Iran to transport weapons, train operatives, and establish launch positions within striking distance of Israel and other strategic targets. Yemen, with the Houthi movement, represents the southern front of Iran's reach. Missiles and drones launched from Yemen have already struck targets in Saudi Arabia, demonstrating the operational depth of Iran's networks. This is not merely support, this is an integrated strategy to project power across multiple theaters. The implications of this network are profound. Imagine a scenario where Iran strikes from the north with long-range missiles, Hezbollah opens fire from the west, and allied groups in Iraq and Yemen create disturbances simultaneously. Defending against such a coordinated set of attacks would stretch any nation's capabilities, no matter how well prepared. It is not a question of whether these actors will operate independently or in concert. It is the fact that they can, and history suggests they would act decisively in moments of opportunity. Analysts warn that these regional alliances are not static. They are responsive, adaptive, and designed to exploit moments of vulnerability. Tehran has spent decades cultivating loyalty, funding infrastructure, and embedding advisors within these groups. The network is resilient. Even if one node is neutralized, others remain ready to act, ensuring that retaliation or escalation can occur in multiple locations. The potential domino effect is clear. One provocation could ignite simultaneous crises across Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Yemen, dragging multiple states into conflict in a matter of hours. In strategic terms, this is a deeply concerning posture, a web of influence capable of overwhelming traditional defensive thinking and complicating diplomatic solutions. And let's not underestimate the political dimension. Hezbollah is not acting purely as a military arm, it is a political actor with influence over Lebanese governance. Iran's allies in Iraq, Syria, and Yemen have their own domestic political entanglements. This means that military action has diplomatic ramifications that are almost impossible to contain. Each engagement risks escalation beyond the intended objectives, with consequences reverberating across borders, drawing in states that might otherwise remain neutral. In short, Iran's regional allies are multipliers. They extend Tehran's military reach, complicate defensive planning, and increase the likelihood of conflict spiraling beyond control. Across the Gulf, the response is equally significant, though far from foolproof. Nations like Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, and Bahrain have poured billions into missile defense systems, radar networks, and Air Force modernization programs. Patriot missile batteries, THAAD systems, and advanced fighter jets are deployed strategically across key locations. These nations have invested heavily to deter Iran from testing their defenses. On paper, these measures suggest robust preparedness, but the reality is more complicated and much less reassuring. Defensive technology is impressive, but it has limits. Missile interception is a complex, high-speed challenge. Consider the scale of potential attacks. Swarms of drones, coordinated missile volleys, and unconventional munitions could easily saturate even the most advanced systems. When hundreds of targets arrive simultaneously, no defense is flawless. Every analyst familiar with these scenarios warns that a large-scale, coordinated attack could overwhelm Gulf defenses, resulting in both civilian and military casualties and major infrastructure damage. The question is not simply whether the Gulf states have weapons, but whether they can sustain a defense under simultaneous multi-directional strikes. Political cohesion within the Gulf is not guaranteed. Alliances are fragile, interests diverge, and historical rivalries simmer beneath the surface. In a crisis, coordination may falter. One state may act decisively, another hesitantly, leaving gaps that Iran and its allies could exploit. The strategic landscape is therefore a delicate balance, impressive military investment but vulnerable political integration. Analysts suggest that Iran calculates precisely this duality. Tehran knows that sheer military presence is not enough. It must account for political hesitation, regional distrust, and the speed at which conflict escalates. It is in this interplay of capabilities and politics that risk becomes acute. Energy infrastructure is another critical concern. Gulf states are home to some of the world's largest oil reserves, refineries, and shipping ports. A well-coordinated strike could disrupt production, damage infrastructure, and send ripple effects through global markets. One missile, one drone, one miscalculation in a key refinery or port city, and the consequences would extend far beyond the Gulf. Energy security, already a topic of concern for global markets, could be thrown into chaos overnight. In other words, defensive investments are necessary but far from sufficient to guarantee regional stability, and the human dimension cannot be ignored. Civilian populations in the Gulf are dense, particularly around strategic hubs. Even with advanced defense systems, urban centers remain vulnerable to indirect impacts of missile or drone strikes, fires, electrical grid failures, or the disruption of essential services. In addition, the psychological impact of sustained threat looms large. Populations under constant threat of missile or drone strikes can experience social instability, economic slowdown, and rising public anxiety. These factors are not peripheral. They shape the decision-making of governments and the calculus of potential conflict. Iran understands this. Threat projection is as much psychological as it is military. The Gulf states' defensive posture is intrinsically tied to global involvement. U.S. military presence, intelligence sharing, and strategic support create a deterrent effect. But even with this backing, Gulf defenses are reactive by nature. Technology and foreign support can delay strikes, intercept attacks, and buy time, but they cannot prevent every threat. In scenarios of rapid escalation, the margin for error shrinks and the cost of miscalculation rises exponentially. The interplay between regional defenses and Iran's offensive capabilities defines a precarious equilibrium, one that could be shattered in hours if provocation occurs. Now, let's turn to an element that often gets overlooked in discussions about military escalation: the economic dimension. The Strait of Hormuz, just 21 miles at its narrowest point, is more than a geographic choke point. It is the lifeline of global energy. Nearly one-fifth of the world's oil passes through these waters. One missile, one strategically placed mine, one drone attack could instantly disrupt the flow of oil, triggering a cascade of consequences from Dubai to Houston, from Beijing to London. This is where regional conflict intersects directly with global markets. Financial analysts do not debate hypotheticals here. They model the immediate spikes in oil prices, the disruptions in shipping schedules, and the secondary effects on energy-dependent industries worldwide. Consider the logistics. Oil tankers navigating the strait operate under constant vigilance, but they are vulnerable to missile and drone strikes. Even a minor disruption could create bottlenecks as ships are forced to route, delay deliveries, or risk attack. The result is a sudden tightening of supply, pushing global prices higher within hours. Energy-dependent economies would face immediate consequences: industrial slowdown, inflationary pressure, and uncertainty that could undermine investor confidence. And while energy markets react within seconds to actual or perceived threats, the ripple effect extends far beyond economics. Governments must respond diplomatically, militarily, and strategically, often under enormous time pressure, amplifying the risk of miscalculation. Global attention tends to focus on direct military confrontations between states, yet the economic theater is equally critical. The Gulf states, Iran, and their regional adversaries are acutely aware of the leverage embedded in these economic vulnerabilities. Iran knows that even a limited attack on shipping lanes or oil infrastructure can create a strategic shockwave. Markets react in real time, political pressures mount, and alliances are tested. A single calculated strike can achieve disproportionate influence without the need for prolonged conflict. In effect, the Strait of Hormuz becomes a force multiplier, amplifying Iran's power and regional impact. This also underscores a broader strategic reality. Modern conflict is multidimensional. It is not purely kinetic. It is not only measured by tanks, missiles, or drone strikes. Economic disruption, supply chain shocks, and the manipulation of energy flows are integral components of power projection. Any escalation in the Gulf is therefore simultaneously a military, economic, and political crisis. One misjudged move could escalate tensions beyond what any military planner expects. The stakes are global because the Middle East, despite its geographic size, occupies a central node in global energy infrastructure and strategic calculations. Finally, consider the long-term ripple effects. Even if direct conflict is contained, insurance costs, shipping routes, and investor hesitancy would linger for months, potentially years. Energy markets are sensitive to perception as much as reality. The mere suggestion that Iran could disrupt the Strait of Hormuz or that Hezbollah and allied groups could act in concert affects global pricing, commodity markets, and economic forecasts. In today's interconnected world, a regional crisis quickly becomes a global one. The Middle East is no longer isolated. It is entwined with the everyday energy needs, transportation logistics, and economic stability of nations thousands of miles away. Experts across multiple disciplines, military analysts, geopolitical strategists, and economic forecasters converge on a few critical observations. First, Iran's approach is deliberate and multifaceted. Its strategy relies on ambiguity, signaling, and escalation management. Tehran does not act impulsively, it cultivates calculated leverage. Missile tests, drone exercises, and the deployment of regional proxies serve dual purposes. They demonstrate capability, and they force adversaries to constantly reassess the risk environment. In effect, Iran has created a strategic posture that compels attention without necessitating immediate conflict. Second, history shows that regional conflicts involving multiple state and non-state actors rarely remain contained. In Yemen, Syria, and Iraq, we have observed the unpredictable consequences of overlapping influence networks. The same patterns could emerge across a broader confrontation, particularly if Iran activates simultaneous strikes through Hezbollah or Iraqi militias and drone operations. Coordination across such a complex network is not guaranteed, yet the mere capacity to act is enough to create strategic pressure. Iran's neighbors and indeed global powers must plan for multiple contingencies simultaneously, a daunting challenge. Third, analysts emphasize the psychological component. Conflict is as much about perception as it is about reality. Tehran understands that ambiguity can produce overreactions, miscalculations, and preemptive measures that escalate tensions. By signaling capability while retaining a degree of restraint, Iran manipulates the decision-making environment of adversaries, forcing caution, hesitation, or misjudgment. This is strategic leverage in its purest form, the power to shape behavior without firing a single weapon. The global implications. United States policy, European diplomatic posture, and Gulf defense strategy intersect in complex ways. Every action from sanctions to military deployments reverberates across the region. Analysts warn that a misstep could trigger not only local conflict, but also geopolitical realignments. Alliances may shift, energy markets may spike, and global perceptions of stability could be permanently altered. The lesson is clear: Iran is not simply a regional player, it is a strategic actor whose actions have cascading consequences far beyond its borders. So what do we take from all of this? Iran possesses the weapons, the allies, and the strategic positioning to create a regional explosion. Hezbollah and its proxies extend Tehran's reach, capable of simultaneous operations across multiple nations. Gulf states are armed, yet their defenses are vulnerable to saturation attacks. The Strait of Hormuz illustrates how a regional conflict could instantly become a global economic crisis. History, strategy, and modern military doctrine all point to one reality: in the Middle East, small sparks can become uncontrolled fires. One missile can disrupt local stability. 10 missiles could ripple across the globe. The question is not if we should pay attention, but whether we are watching closely enough. Global actors, investors, and policymakers must assess not only what is happening, but what might happen next. The clock is ticking and the world is watching.